she seriously offer a BJ for 50 bucks? Does she take Apple Pay? Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Jacoby Ataco. I'm an insurance agent and real estate investor. And in this video, I really want to take you through our entire portfolio and show you just exactly how much money we make with our rental properties. We're going to talk about the deals we've done and the cash flow we receive. Let's get rolling. So the very first property that we purchased was honestly a phenomenal deal. We bought it off market. We had scrounged up about $170,000. Most of that came from some cash we saved up, but I also did a cash out refinance of our primary residence, and we were able to get out about $70,000. So we had a little bit of cash that we were able to put towards the project, and I went looking for really good opportunity. We ended up buying it for $170,000. It appraised 6 months later for $240,000. If you know how refinances work, you can take out up to 75% of the value of the house. So being that it appraised for $240,000, I decided to take out $170,000 back out, meaning that I got the house for free essentially. I bought it for $170,000. The bank gave me $170,000 with a 3.25% interest rate loan, and then after taxes and insurance and HOA, the tenant's paying us now $1,500 a month. So we are currently cash flowing, I want to say right around $500 a month on that property. And same tenant's been there the whole time. She takes really good care of the property. And actually, she works at a company that replaces windshields, and I actually just cracked my windshield a couple of weeks ago. So I went to her, she gave it to me for free, and I discounted her rent. So being a landlord has some perks sometimes. This was the property that set everything into motion. Getting this first deal at such a good price allowed us to buy multiple other properties as well. I think that's a huge advantage. Getting a good deal makes such a difference. Just because of how good of a deal we got, we're able to use the same capital to buy the next 2 or 3 houses. Finding a good deal is the most important part of this. So here we are at our very first property. Looks great. We actually just had to repaint this entire wall. HOA apparently didn't like that it was deteriorating. Looks like the neighbor also did. So this house stays really nice condition. You can see very nice green. One of the few places that they still allow us to have green grass over here, but property looks good. They got a bunch of trash there that they need to take out, but honestly, she's been a great tenant, longest tenant that we've had, and kept the property really nice. All right, it's a little bit windy, but hopefully you can see this. This is our first 7-bedroom rental property. Again, this one gets about $5,440 a month in rents. Now, these houses aren't without drama. I actually got a call from a neighbor right over there. And she told me that the police were here a couple of nights ago, and she was wanting to make sure everything was okay. Well, turns out one of the tenants' ex-girlfriend came and bashed out his back window. Never a dull moment. So the second property we purchased, again, we bought the property for $536,000. We put 20% down on that property, which was about $110,000 after when you add in closing costs and factoring all that in. But we also renovated that property. It needed a pretty good renovation. I got the plumbing of the entire house redone because it had polybutylene piping, which honestly I didn't even know what that was at the time. Yeah, apparently it's really bad. It leaks quite a bit. They can't even use it anymore. It's illegal to use in homes because of the problems that it's caused. So we just got that whole thing replaced for 10 grand. And then we spent another $15,000, adding 2 additional bedrooms to that house. And then also just getting it furnished. And then we ended up renting it out by the bedroom. So we currently get $5,440 a month in rents. And then I want to say that our expenses end up being right around $3,000, maybe like just over $3,000. So we're cash flowing about $2,400 a month on that property. It's been just a cash cow for us. Our third property, we used an equity partner. So they put the down payment down on the property and we paid for the renovations. That is another 7-bedroom rental that we have. We ended up purchasing it right around the corner from our other 7-bedroom rental. Honestly, it's the exact same layout. It's amazing and it's conveniently located. I'm talking about they're walking distance from each other. So real easy to manage, two in the same location. Just makes things a lot easier. That one though we bought for $588,000 and we have a 5% interest rate loan on it. Between what we pay our partner and then all of the additional expenses like housekeeping, maids, housekeeping, utilities, internet, we pay for all that stuff. Our total expenses are about $3,100 per month, and the income we receive on that property is about $5,300 a month. So we're making about $1,100 to $1,200 a month on that property. Really good property. Cash flow is really nice on it, and it stays consistently full and occupied because those houses are just really nice. They show well. So property number 4 we bought for $215,000. Again, we don't actually have a loan on this property. I bought it with an equity partner, and so they fronted the cash. We paid for the renovations, and I just pay them a set amount every single month. So we make about $500 a month. I want to say out of $1,500. I actually raise the rent to $1,515. Pay the equity partner about $900 or so. There's taxes and insurance, but there's no HOA in this neighborhood. So yeah, we profit about $500 a month on this one. And the next door neighbor, which I will show you, again, it's side by side duplex. Next door neighbor actually just sold their property like 2 months ago for $300,000, and it is not as well kept as ours. Now, the funny thing about this property is that we bought it from a landlord who was in the middle of evicting a tenant. And so I got it from a wholesaler, which was a referral, but I went to the property and I'm not kidding. I am 100% certain they were dealing meth out of this property. There were security cameras placed all around this place. And I got out, kind of a shady little area anyway, but I got out and I was kind of looking around the property. Within 30 seconds, someone walks out and the guy is kind of a tweaker. Hey, what are you doing, man? and and I was like, oh, hey, just looking around. I'm thinking about purchasing this property, and we started talking a little bit, and he actually let me into the house. He wasn't even the actual tenant. The tenant wasn't there, but he was like the cousin or something. So he let me into the house. It's a 900 square foot, 2-bedroom duplex, side by side duplex where we own just one side. I'm not kidding when I say there were 10 people in that place. They had surveillance cameras set up. There were bullet casings all over the place. There were dogs, birds, all kind of fun stuff. And this is the property here. The tenant's actually a mechanic. Really shouldn't be messing with cars over here. You can see he's got a bunch of cars, but this is the house over here. There were cameras all over there, security guard stuff. We actually painted this whole property. We replaced the roof. This house needed a pretty good amount of work. And if you can see, we'll walk over here, side by side duplex. This is our side here, painted, nicely fresh. Garage door is brand new. This side, which isn't even as renovated, look up there, you can tell there's just a little bit more wear and tear. They didn't update it. This is the place that sold for $300,000 just a couple months ago. This is the property we purchased for $318,000. It's in a beautiful neighborhood in Green Valley here in Las Vegas. I honestly love this house. It's right across the street from a lake. I honestly didn't even know there were lakes in Vegas. So we bought it for $318,000. We currently have a mortgage on it for $203,000, I think, is what's left on the mortgage, and the house is currently worth about $400,000 to $450,000. So we have a lot of equity in that house. Now the cash flow isn't great, but it's an A+ property, so the appreciation has been great. The tenants in there are phenomenal. Honestly, these are just great people. They could buy a house themselves if they wanted, but they like to rent, and we have a great relationship. I charge them $2,050 a month, which is slightly low, but it's worth it for a tenant. I do raise rents about $50 a month, $50 a year for them. Great neighborhood. We've had it rented. There's going to be a very noticeable change in the types of houses as we move to the next property. You'll notice the houses are just a lot older. There's no more tile roofs. There's more, shingle roofs. They're aged. The properties are going to have a lot more unkempt properties. You can see there's no HOAs over here, so you're going to find a lot more riffraff. So property number 6, I bought for $206,000. It needed a pretty good amount of work. We put $22,000 into the property. Paint, some flooring areas, just a bunch of stuff, light fixtures. We did a whole new kitchen in there as well. Anyway, it wasn't in a great neighborhood, and so I wasn't 100% sure what we could get the value, what we could rent that property. So I was really conservative. We currently have a loan of $125,000 on that property at a 6.6% interest rate. Yeah, these are the properties here. So not beautiful. I mean, they did just repaint them. There's a lady in here flagging everybody down, trying to get her car jumped. She's really in distress, and I just realized I have jumper cables, so I'm gonna go try to help her out. All right. I hear it trying. Ooh. Not really sure if I just helped a lady steal a car. So that was a little interesting. I came around the corner and there was a lady with her hood popped open, and she was frantic, yelling, "Help! Help!" And I looked over and she needed a jump. So, I mean, she said, gave me kind of a weird story. She said she couldn't get into her trunk. She was locked out, and she said she needed a jump. Which I said, how are you going to get in the car if you're locked out? She goes, "No, I can get in the car." "Oh, where are the keys?" "They're in the car." "Oh, well, why can't you get in the trunk?" So, anyway, I decided to actually give her a jump, put the jumper cables on, and I don't know. It didn't start up, but she said there was a security lock on her battery. She had to take the battery out, so I don't know. Her brother was coming, so she said she was good, and I said I always got to roll. So I don't know. If we see this on the news, that'll be why. The last property we bought was it's in North Las Vegas, not in the greatest area. The lady was getting foreclosed on. She was 16 months behind on her mortgage. So we made actually a great deal with her. We spent $32,000 buying the house. I gave her $10,000. I got her mortgage caught up for another $12,000, and then she had some other loans and things that I had to pay off, which were another $10,000. But we kept the original mortgage in her name. So right now we own the house, but the mortgage is still in place, and we just pay her mortgage for her. So she's already moved out. She moved to California. We already have another tenant in that place, which is why I can't show you the property right now. And we have them on a rent-to-own contract, which means they are going to buy the house from us. They are going to buy the house from us in 2 years for $165,000. We purchased it for $122,000. So really good profit there. And right now they're paying $1,350 a month in rents, and our mortgage payment and taxes, insurance, and all that is about $775 a month. So there's a good 570, something like that, $575 a month in cash flow that we'll make for the next 2 years, and then get hopefully a pretty nice payoff at the end of that 2-year period. So on a pretty mediocre deal, that's not bad.